Exodus 21, the law concerning servants. Now these are the judgments which you shall set before them. If you buy a Hebrew servant, he shall serve 6 years, and in the 7th year he shall go out free and pay nothing. If he comes in by himself, he shall go out by himself. If he comes in married, then his wife shall go out with him. If his master has given him a wife, and she has borne him sons or daughters, the wife and her children shall be her master's, and he shall go out by himself. But if the servant plainly says, I love my master, my wife, and my children, I will not go out free, then his master shall bring him to the judges. He shall also bring him to the door, or to the doorpost, and his master shall pierce his ear with an awl, and he shall serve him forever. And if a man sells his daughter to be a female slave, she shall not go out as the male slaves do. If she does not please her master, who has betrothed her to himself, then he shall let her be redeemed. He shall have no right to sell her to a foreign people, since he has dealt deceitfully with her. And if he has betrothed her to his son, he shall deal with her according to the custom of daughters. If he takes another wife, he shall not diminish her food, her clothing, and her marriage rights. And if he does not do these three for her, then she shall go out free without paying money. Let's read commentary here. Exodus 21 verse 1 through 11. Commentary is coming from the Tony Evans Bible Commentary. So the next 3 chapters provide various laws and ordinances that were specific applications for the more general 10 commandments. They showed Israel examples of how the commandments were to function and would provide a framework for resolving problems and disputes in the nation. An Israelite, for instance, might sell himself into slavery, that is, indentured servitude, for various reasons, such as paying off debt or surviving financial calamity. He would serve a period of 6 years and then go free unless he elected to stay in permanent servitude out of love for his master and family. Since slaves were in a vulnerable position, provisions were made to ensure their proper treatment, especially in cases involving female slaves. Let's continue reading scripture. Verse 12 of Exodus 21, the law concerning violence. He who strikes a man so that he dies shall surely be put to death. However, if he did not lie in wait, but God delivered him into his hand, then I will appoint for you a place where he may flee. But if a man acts with premeditation against his neighbor to kill him by treachery, you shall take him from my altar that he may die. And he who strikes his father or his mother shall surely be put to death. He who kidnaps a man and sells him, or if he is found in his hand, shall surely be put to death. And he who curses his father or his mother shall surely be put to death. If men contend with each other, and one strikes the other with a stone or with his fist, and he does not die, but is confined to his bed, if he rises again and walks about outside with his staff, then he who struck him shall be acquitted. He shall only pay for the loss of his time, and shall provide for him to be thoroughly healed. And if a man beats his male or female servant with a rod, so that he dies under his hand, he shall surely be punished. Notwithstanding, if he remains alive a day or two, he shall not be punished, for he is his property. If men fight and hurt a woman with child, so that she gives birth prematurely, yet no harm follows, he shall surely be punished according to as the woman's husband imposes on him, and he shall pay as the judges determine. But if any harm follows, then you shall give life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot, burn for burn, wound for wound, stripe for stripe. If a man strikes the eye of his male or servant or female servant and destroys it, he shall let him go free for the sake of his eye. And if he knocks out the tooth of his male or female servant, he shall let him go free for the sake of his tooth. Let's read commentary here, verses 12 through 27. So the laws dealing with personal injury begin with the most serious of injuries, homicide. The death penalty was prescribed for intentional homicide only. In the event of unintentional homicide, the person could flee to an appointed place, what would become known as a city of refuge. Someone guilty of involuntary manslaughter then could go to one of these sanctuary cities for protection from those who would seek retribution. See Numbers 35 verse 9 through 34, Deuteronomy 4 verse 41 through 43, Joshua 20 verse 1 through 9. But there was no refuge or sanctuary for someone guilty of premeditated murder. Verse 5 through 15 through 17. Should parents exercise their authority legitimately, they were to be respected and honored. Physical or verbal abuse against one's parents was a capital crime. Kidnapping was also a capital offense. Human trafficking of any kind was not to be tolerated. In verse 18 to 19, personal injuries not resulting in death still required compensation to the injured party. Verse 20 through 27, owners had the right to punish slaves, but such measures were not to involve violence. If a slave was struck and died, the owner was to be punished. Permanent physical harm to the slave resulted in his or her freedom and loss of the owner's investment. Such laws limiting a slave owner's power and respecting the rights of slaves were unprecedented and unique to Israel in the ancient Near East. Compensation was mandatory for accidentally causing a premature birth, even if no injury resulted. Clearly, then, an unborn infant is considered a person with basic rights. Negligence resulting in injury or death to an unborn baby incurred consequences. The stipulation in 21 verse 23 to 24 is commonly referred to by the Latin expression lex talionis, the law of retaliation. The idea behind life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, etc. was to limit punishment given. The legal process was meant to provide fair punishment and to prevent escalation of hostilities. Penalties were to match and not exceed the damage done to the victim. Let's continue scripture. Verse 28. Animal control laws. If an ox gores a man or a woman to death, then the ox shall surely be stoned, and his flesh shall not be eaten, but the owner of the ox shall be acquitted. But if the ox tended to thrust with its horn in times past, and it has been made known to his owner, and he has not kept it confined, so that it has killed a man or a woman, the ox shall be stoned, and its owner also shall be put to death. If there is imposed on him a sum of money, then he shall pay to redeem his life, whatever is imposed on him. Whether it has gored a son or gored a daughter, according to this judgment it shall be done to him. If the ox gores a male or female servant, he shall give to their master 30 shekels of silver, and the ox shall be stoned. And if a man opens a pit, or if a man digs a pit and does not cover it, and an ox or a donkey falls in it, the owner of the pit shall make it good. He shall give money to their owner, but the dead animal shall be his. If one man's ox hurts another, so that it dies, then they shall sell the live ox and divide the money from it, and the dead ox they shall also divide. Or if it was known that the ox tended to thrust in times past, and its owner has not kept it confined, he shall surely pay ox for ox, and the dead animal shall be his own. Let's read commentary here, verse 28 through 36. 28 to 36. Okay. So owners were accountable for any injuries or deaths caused by their animals. Compensation must be made. If his animal had a history of causing harm and he refused to restrain it, the owner would pay with his life. And that concludes Exodus 21. Stay tuned for Exodus 22.